You want to move to France and you also know that you want to freelance in order to support yourself. So you're going to be applying for a business visa or an entrepreneur carte de séjour. Make sure you watch this video to avoid the 5 mistakes that most people are doing when they apply for a business visa. Why is it actually important to look at your business setup and your business viability? Well, the French embassy, or the body who's handling the visa application, so VFS or TLS, they're looking at your visa application, business visa application, as if they were financing you. You're not asking for money, but they want to make sure the setup is correct, that you're going to be able to work, and there's no rules preventing you from working. They would hate it if you arrived in France and said, oh, can't work because I'm not qualified. So that's their job, to make sure you've ticked all the right boxes in order to be able to freelance and to earn an income. So here are my 5 mistakes that you want to make sure you're not doing before you send your business visa application. Mistake number 1, your business is too complex. I get palpitation when I see some customers sending me a business plan and there's 2 couples with 1 property and about 3 or 4 different activities. So from the French embassy's point of view, you think, okay, so there's 4 people and all of them need to draw an income from their business. That's a bit complex. Same thing if you want to buy a restaurant or buy a cafe or a tea shop. That's a great project, but maybe you need to keep that for once you're in France and you have time to look around. Because if you're talking about buying an existing business, when you apply for your visa application, you need to have signed the contract. So you would have signed a contract to buy the business, you'll have signed the contract for the premises. So that's a very tough one to get going as a first business visa application. I would say maybe start smaller and keep that one for once you're in France. So for instance, if your dream is to have a French restaurant or cafe or a tea shop, maybe you're going to start smaller by starting as a chef à domicile, a traiteur, where you do food for others, and that's not regulated, rather than talking about buying some premises, renting some professional premises where you're not even in France and you even haven't had the time to look around. So make it easier for yourself. Go for a simple project. Same thing if you're buying a chateau with friends and you want to do gîtes, restaurants, retreats, and you're splitting all of this between you and your friends or you and your children. Well, start small, start with 1 person applying for the business visa for that particular activity and then increase it. But if you're talking about having 2 or 3 people with some incorporated business, it's just very complex. Make it easier for yourself, make it easier for the French embassy to say yes. Mistake number 2 is to not check the French regulations. I know it's quite tough to do when you're abroad, but basically a lot of activities in France are regulated. Quite often when you're talking about manual activities like artisan, the building trade, beauticians, all of these hairdressers are regulated. And if you apply for a business visa for that activity, you're going to have to prove your qualification or your experience in that field. Gone are the days, for instance, where for British citizens, where we didn't have Brexit, they didn't need a carte de séjour. A few people were registering as laborer, not being qualified, but working as a builder or working as a carpenter or doing petit bricolage and actually doing proper building work. That is not going to fly if you apply for carte de séjour. You need to be qualified as a roofer, as a carpenter, as a builder if you apply for that kind of activity. So take the time to check if your activity is regulated before you send your business visa application. If you have no clues about the French regulations, you want to look at My French Business, which is my online course, where I'm actually helping you to work on your French business project, working on the regulation, your business plan, the financial plan, the type of business legal structure you're going to go for, preparing your visa application. And this course is going live as a group twice a year, and it's also available as a self-tuition mode, so you can check the details in the comment. Mistake number 3 is to actually apply for a business visa when you don't own a property, but your business project is based on a property. So one case would be, for instance, if you plan to buy a chateau and you're going to have a gîte, restaurant, wedding venues, but you haven't signed the contracts yet, you're going to have a no. You need to have signed the acte de vente in order to show that you own the property and therefore you can run the activity from there. So either you hold on to your project until you fully own the property, either you change the product so it's not based on a property. The other thing that I would be saying for this is also, for instance, if you plan to run a cafe, a restaurant, like I said earlier, and that includes professional premises, you need to have signed the rental contract, which is called bail commercial. So if that's not the case, same thing, you hold on or you do it without the property. When we register your business, we actually need to prove that you own the property where you're going to be basing the activity. So it's important to have the titre de propriété. Is, for instance, is a gîte-based activity or chateau-based activity. Well, if you're renting, you need to ask for the landlord authorization. So from your visa point of view, I'm just talking about those projects that are really connected to the property. The activity is connected to the activity. That's not the case, for instance, if you're freelancing and you're just going to be working from home. You don't need to show that you own the place, so you don't need to show that you are that you get the approval from the landlord if you're just doing working as a consultant. So mistake number 4 is actually showing that you're not going to earn an income or that your viability is very low. Don't show me a loss. I know you probably want to be cautious and not being over optimistic by showing a huge profit, but if you show me you're going to be losing 10,000-20,000 euros in the first year, why would I give you a business visa if you plan to lose money? So review your financial side, and really, as a business visa carte de séjour application, you want to be earning roughly an income of 20,000. I'm saying income, how much you get out of the business, and not sales. So make sure you're earning at least 20,000 euros. If you don't have it, then you need to show you have this amount in savings. But for me, when I look at a business plan, I want to see that the sales projection, the financial projection over 3 years is going to be viable. So review your numbers. Do you need to increase your sales? Which kind of extra services could you have? Can you reduce your expenses? But don't show me a loss of 10 or 20,000 euros. That's just a no. That's a no from me, at least. You want to show you're going to be able to support yourself. So show a profit and show that you're going to be generating at least 20,000 euros of income. The fifth mistake is actually underestimating the time that is going to be required to apply for a business visa or carte de séjour. In practice, when I speak to someone, it's going to take them 6 months to finish it off because they're busy. You're working, you've got your life, you've got to rent your property, you've got to move your stuff, you've got to look for a house for your kids. So from the business side, make it easier for yourself. Add some time in your agenda, like a regular 1 or 2 hours per week, where you're going to work on your project. And all of this is time that we'll save for the future, because once you arrive in France, everything will be very clear. You just have to say, right, let's go. So make sure you add some time in your calendar to work on this. If you need some help, just look at my course, My French Business. I add the link in the comments. It's a course where I'm actually walking you through the French system as to which kind of business ideas could you have, what are the regulations, working on your business plan, working on your financial plan. For both of those, I give you a template, as well as choose the best legal structure that would work for your business, the social charges that would apply, and the visa application process, so you can work on this. This course is available either as a group twice a year or as a self-tuition mode. So if you like to work late at night or early in the morning, you can watch the course, work on it, and move forward with your project. Voila, that was my 5 mistakes to avoid if you want to apply for a business visa or carte de séjour. Make sure you remove those from your business plans. Allez, bon courage et à bientôt en France!